So if we go to discuss the general scheme of recovery program as a basic, you will find a lot of recommendation, and there are a lot of sources around you, and we just can take some of examples and start from this, just using as a kind of basic scheme. There are many different ways, but generally all of those scenarios for recover, they will be grouped your training plan for 3, 4, maybe 5 stages, but all of those stages designed in a way you're starting slow with small level of workload, and then gradually increase this by increasing duration. On the second phase, this duration you also increase and adding some more complicated workload, more heavy workload for the horse, building and developing stamina of the horse, the muscles. And the third phase is expanding this further. So those 3 stages, more or less universal. Whatever you are doing, whatever case you are having, the recovery for pleasure, recovery for the professional sport, you will be passing all of these 3 stages. And you can find a lot of guidance like this. And I think they quite basics and quite easy to implement. Important thing here, in every stage, in every moment of the training, you should be clear about how quick you increase the workload, how far you're doing next step. And here there is a very interesting practice. I think you maybe already heard about this. This is a supercompensation model or effect which you may generate by doing proper balancing of the work, of the workload you're executing with the horse. The model itself is quite an easy, and it's very well used and known as well for human body development, the same way for the animals. Our muscles are designed and they work in a way like if you would like to increase the effort and capability of the muscle, you may want and may expect it need to be continuously progression of the effort on every training session. But in this case, you may face the side effect, the opposite effect, because on the next stage, on the next level of workload, every time you increase workload, muscle will not be ready to take on and move forward with the capacity of the muscles and the strengthness of the muscles. But instead, if you let muscles and give muscles some recovery time, relax time on a specific time frame, then increasing workload on the next stage after the pause, after the break, or after a good release, then it creates a supercompensation effect because muscles overconstruct itself and create capability and volume of the muscles to take more effort and produce more energy and more force for moving your body to the next level. So this gradually designed in a supercompensation model. So if you integrate this into your scheme, then the basic model will look like this. So your week or 8 days schedule time may be designed in a way like green boxes here. Those are rest days when the horse and yourself not doing nothing or just relaxing, walking, and moving, but not really working. Then there is a day of light training session. Next day, a more heavy training session. Then again, light and break. So this kind of curve, and every line here, I mean horizontal line, is the level of workload for this week. But for the next week, you can increase this level, moving a little bit up. And then you move forward with that building up. So, but in every week, you have this kind of curve, moving up the effort, increase workload, then make it more easy day of work, and then even relaxed day for the horse. So this is very important to remember that regardless of the situation you have and the phase you are currently developing the horse in the beginning, in the middle of the process, or at the end, and even in the continue of the performance, it's important to keep this in mind because only with this model you keep muscles growing up, not ruining them because of the high pressure and high demand for the muscles. But it's very generic. And Equistick here already helps you to design this intensity chart. So on the left side, you can see a very good example of specific horse. This is Conversana. The horse was in the break for almost a year or even more than a year because of the illness of the leg, and the hoof was destroyed. So there are a lot of problems. And then after all of these problems gone, horse was still on the relax mode. So they were just moving around in the field, eating, sleeping, eating, doing whatever he wants just to recover. And this October, the owner start building up the horse. And see here in the chart, you can see the first month of development. So you see how big distance was passed from just the beginning of training sessions up to the level at the end of October, when the horse already capable perform very high level of workload and very high level of training. Today, during the during whole session, we will be touching all examples, a lot of examples of this case, learning from this, because it's very interestingly designed and properly organized in terms of the managing workload between the phases and the dates. So let me check if there are no questions. So far, looks like not. And then let me continue moving forward. So this is very generic model, as I said, but each of you having your own unique situation with your own horse and your own practice and your level of ride, have to design your own training model. And there are 3 key questions you will be facing yourself and asking yourself. When is the right time to increase workload? Because you should decide when it's time to do more. Then the second question, what exercise to introduce as a next step? And you have to be able to pick a right exercise, which is extending the workload on the right model, in the right way, in the right size, right scale. But this is very complicated question. And third, and how much to add of those exercises for the next week or the next time. So those 3 questions should be in your mind, and you have to be able to answer those questions, being not just guessing, but also basing on specific data, base your decisions on the knowledge you have. So, and we will be touching those questions today, helping you to learn how with Equistick data you would be able to answer those questions much more comfortable, much more precise, and having those data needed to make these answers right. So there are 3 metrics in the Equistick app which are guiding for you. There are a lot of metrics in the Equistick app, you know, and I will be touching just 3 of them today. First is the rhythm consistency, not just rhythm itself, but consistency of the rhythm. The second is impulsion level, I mean level of impulsion. And the level here is a critical metric. And the symmetry shape, or the form of the chart for the symmetry. So we'll be learning those 3 things today. And based on learning you will be getting today, you will be able to answer 3 questions we just mentioned. Because those guiding metrics will help you to understand where are you now and what you can do next.